Firstly, I would like to say thank you so much, Julia, for taking the time to talk to me today and share your experiences of returning to practice. So, how long have you been out of nursing practice?
I've been out for 15 years, so I finished in 2005, and that then involved a move to Ireland where I was out of nursing.
Oh, and when you were out of nursing, did you always feel like a nurse, even when you weren't practicing?
I think, yeah, absolutely I did. It's a lovely label still to have, I think, and it was very much sort of part of my identity, even when I was out of it. So people would still ask questions and I'd still sort of be interested. My ears would prick up when I'd hear anything medical from anybody else. So I think, yeah, I definitely still always felt like I was a nurse, absolutely.
Oh, and what was the final thing that made you want to return to practice? What was the final thing that made your decision?
I think I would definitely say that there was always an intention to come back, a real hope that I would come back. And, once my children had grown and they had gone away from home, I think then I was very much, this is my time now. And this is, what am I going to do going into the future? And really for me, there was absolutely only one choice, and it was back to nursing and back to the job that I had always really enjoyed.
Oh, and you've returned to community nursing, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
And was community nursing an area that you worked in before?
It was. It wasn't the area that I was working in just as I finished, but I had worked in community nursing prior to that, and it had always been an area that I'd really, really enjoyed. So I knew as well when I decided I was going to return to nursing that was absolutely the setting that I wanted to go back into.
And what do you love so much about community nursing?
Well, I think the interesting thing of having been out of nursing for a while, I'm now at a different stage of my life. And I think that I very much see the benefit of being able to help people stay at home. How important it is for people to be well and to stay out of hospital, but also that awareness that people who've got chronic illnesses that need managing, and just how much people want to stay part of their community, and as I say, I know that from a personal level now with my parents, but it's just how rewarding that is really for trying to help people stay at home, and just to work as part of a team. And it is a multidisciplinary team approach just to achieve that outcome.
That's brilliant. And how has your experience of returning to practice been?
It's been great. It's been busy. So I think, but you wouldn't expect anything else, but it's been really positive. I think all those aspects that I really enjoyed about nursing before I finished nursing are all still there. There are definitely challenges, and those are still there, but I suppose it's working with like-minded people to all be pulling in the same direction, and I've really enjoyed that. And I think the experience has been everything I thought it would be and more, and I've just found the whole thing really positive, and I've absolutely no regrets. I'm delighted.
Oh, and you just made reference there to challenges. Did you find any challenges through the return to practice journey?
Yeah, I think so. I have to say, for me, I think the biggest challenge was the academic assignment. So my training, I like to call it the old style training, that was not part of my training then. So that was a bit daunting. I would definitely say that, but there was, a good amount of support available from UE. I think, my children are of an age where they offered me support and words of encouragement, which was really nice. But also my mentor on my placement, she was absolutely terrific, and people could have not been kinder in offering support and help. So I think that was probably my biggest challenge, and the thing that I really felt I kind of had to dig deep to do. But the sense of achievement after I've done it was absolutely fantastic, and I'm really delighted that I did it.
And sort of just more into that, what's been your biggest positive from the journey?
Oh, well, no, I definitely say the positives outweigh any negatives, I have to say. It's really lovely to be back and to be back in the uniform. I'm really enjoying that side of it, to be part of a team. And I'm really lucky that I am working with a terrific team of community nurses. So I'm really enjoying that. I think to see the impact you're having on your patients in your visits and part of your care, you know, that difference that you're making to their day when you're having the conversation and things like that. So those sort of building of relationships and things was always the things that I enjoyed the most, and one of the things that pulled me back to the community. So they definitely have been there. That's met my expectations, and that's been really, really lovely. But I suppose it's just one of the really nice things is to be back part of actually being nursing, to be part of what you see, what you remember, and just to be part of such a great team across the board is just been really terrific.
Oh, that's wonderful. And for anybody sort of watching this webinar, thinking of returning to practice, what would you say? What would your message to them be?
I would definitely say go for it. I have no regrets at all. I think I was fortunate. My children were grown up, so that made life a bit easier for me. But I think to be clear about, time commitment that is required, and just plan for that. That was the other thing. There was a short course and a long course, and I went with the long course because I knew that was going to fit in to my life as it was, and that was absolutely the right decision. And I found that UE were very supportive of that. Sirona was particularly supportive of that, and I felt very much that I was allowed to take the time to do the course, the part of the course that I wanted to do for the return to practice. But I would have to say that that sense of identity that's come back to me with being a nurse is something that I have found very, very positive. I don't regret it for a minute. And I would say to people, absolutely to go for it. Be clear about the support you want and ask for that support. But my mentor was just terrific. And I have to say that she absolutely made my return to practice and my placement such a pleasure. And I just always knew I was well supported, and that made a huge difference.
Oh, thank you so much, Julia, for speaking to us today to talk through your experiences of returning to practice. I definitely think your story might inspire other nurses who are thinking of returning to. A really inspirational story. Thank you so much.
Lovely, thank you.